Welcome back to another episode 34 of the Spittin Hoops podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Anthony, pointing to the wrong side, as per usual.
What's going on, guys?
I think I actually have it right this time. I think I might be pointing the right direction.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong. I said that in the last pod, word for word. But today, we got a lot of basketball coverage. A lot of basketball to cover. A lot of basketball coverage coming at you. Something like that. We got in-season tournament content. We got some NBA drama, and we got a quiz. Anthony, how are we doing?
Man, we got some drama. Max, what's going on?
We do have some drama. I just asked you. I just pitched it to you. We have drama across the league. We got a 38, 39, 37-year-old GOAT pulling out chips that we never thought should ever be put up in the Staples Center, according to Kobe. So it's been dramatic. I don't know.
Unbelievable. So is he now the GOAT?
I think genuinely, if this in-season tournament doesn't change your ranking of LeBron James, there's something wrong with you. Clearly, this in-season tournament is a thing that sets I can't even say that was straight. Okay, we're beating around the bush. In-season tournament happened. The Lakers won it. We're obviously covering this a little bit late. About 4 or 5 days late. They beat the Pacers in the finals, who had beaten the Bucks in the semis. Lakers beat the Pelicans in the semis. Figure out the Elite Eight for yourself who won there. Overall, I mean, not too surprising. We were also kind of recording during the Celtics Pacers game, which was a weird dynamic last time. And like immediately we had the results from that game. But I think both of us were kind of on Pacers upset alert.
Yeah. We nailed that collectively until we guessed against the Bucks. Yeah. But made sense. Shout out to the Pacers, man, for doing their thing in the middle of the season. Cool experience for these guys to get on central stage in Vegas, national TV. Halliburton really emerging as a superstar. Very, very cool to see, bro. It's exciting to see where this guy has taken this franchise.
Can we have a convo about him yet?
Sure. Yeah.
It's time to have a serious conversation. I mean, this is a guy who's been putting up a streak of basically 25 and 10 games. It's like stat lines we haven't really seen before. In terms of like doing that with no turnovers and being the focal point of an offense.
Right.
I'm not ready to put him in top 10 yet, but like he's knocking on the door. And at some point, if he keeps putting up 30 and 15, like not only is that top 10, if he does that over a course of a full season, now we're talking MVP.
Bro, he's different right now. He's actually something. The way he plays, the way he commands that offense, and the control that he has over the entire flow of the game at this age. He's 23 years old. He's 23 years old. Paul George was 23 years old. And could this guy be better than Paul George was at 23 years old for the Pacers going game 7 against the Heat? This dude is unbelievable, bro. Like he's out of this world.
I mean, what for the season, he's averaging 26 and like 12. And that's already a stat line that I don't think I've ever seen. Guys who average just 12 assists don't then average 26. Like, and then the guys who average 26 don't then average 12 assists. Sorry. He's also shooting 44% from three, 52% from the field. Like, this is highly efficient basketball. And it's also come to a point where it's like, we're like, it's the first 15 games, let's chill out. But it's like now it's like doing it against the Celtics, against the Bucks, against other good teams during the regular season. And I can't ever put someone in the top 10 without seeing a playoff series and a qualified playoff series, but I really think this is like a sure thing. I'm almost not worried about how he's going to perform in a playoff series. Obviously, we still need to see it, but
yeah, I mean, he's playing at a top 10 level at the moment, and he's looking real good doing it. So, man, it's Tyrese Halliburton, man. Look at this guy go.
And they've built their team so nicely around him. Between guys like Miles Turner, all the wing scorers, like it's offensive talent on the wing. They can't play much defense. It is what it is, but They're a young team.
Bro,
You just want the
I
what?
I saw Aaron Neesmith miss a wide open shot from 10 feet away in a Celtics uniform, and he is killing it on the Pacers. So
Genu-
happy for him.
Genuinely fantastic player. Yeah, I think he got an extension before the season, but like
Yeah.
he's I'd rather have Aaron Neesmith than Denny Avdia, frankly. Like that's
Oh, yeah,
in
bro.
terms of activity, in terms of offensive potential. I don't think Neesmith is that great of an offensive player, but visually, I could see it happening more there. Um, and he's a lot more raw. Like this is a guy who could develop, and
Mhm.
he when he plays, he performs. They just have four guys sitting on the wings who are like ahead of him.
Bro, this man is putting up 11 points per game, and he's shooting 55, 46, and then 67 from the free throw line. So that's kind of weird. But
Well, and that's the part of him not being a natural shooter. Is like you don't think he's going to average 46% from three for the full season when you see free throw numbers like that, and like
right,
valid. But even if he regresses to 38% from three,
yeah,
that's a super good player.
it is. He could develop.
I really like that team, and I like how that's built.
Mm.
I think the Sabonis trade. I saw this take on Twitter. I don't remember who put it out, but the Sabonis trade is kind of like everyone on the Kings is telling themselves that it's fine. You know, we got Sabonis. It's cool. It's just like the Hawks with Trae Young when they traded Luka Doncic. It's like it's fine. It's cool because we have Trae Young. But at some point, when you lose a trade like that, you really lose, and it's evident. Like you can't
Right.
tell me Fox and Halliburton wouldn't be able to make the playoffs. Like now that I'm seeing this, because they were
Mm.
already on track. Frankly, they were already on track.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, that's totally fair. If we'll have to see what happens really in the next couple seasons. Sabonis is a bit older, his ceiling's lower. Halliburton, we don't know where his ceiling could be right now. So, but the way it's looking, I think you're right. I mean, in a world where a lot of people say that the Kings, for them, it was like a B in the trade, right? Because they got that level back. There's also a world where you got an F because you lost Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
And so it's tough to say, but I'm with you, dude. I like their team. They're well rounded. I like TJ McConnell, Buddy Hield, Bruce Brown are great. Um, Benedict Mathurin is still coming into his own,
Yeah.
and
He's
they keep
definitely a weird case, Matherin, but he's still good. He's still good.
yeah,
He's like a weird case
just
though.
some talent.
Yeah.
Obi Toppin is playing solid, and they just need more size, I guess. But other than that, like in some more defensive presence, I think they're that Kirk Goldsberry efficiency landscape
Yeah.
chart. They are like just way off in the corner in the bottom of like most offense and least defense like possible.
This is super random, but I've been thinking about this and like it'll never happen, obviously. But Jaren Jackson would be a perfect fit on this team.
Oh yeah,
Next to Miles Turner, stretches the floor. They can basically still play five out. And then Jaren Jackson can take center minutes as much as not perfect.
I sort of see like him and Miles Turner is like pretty complementarily interchangeable too, like in
Yeah.
a positive way because
Like in a Derek White, Drew Holiday front court
yeah,
way.
yeah,
Like being that in the backcourt or
right.
yeah, you know.
Switchable, can play the 4 or the 5, can hit threes, good defender, a lot of
Not
blocks.
necessarily creators, but extremely good complementary pieces offensively, and then both elite defenders.
Unbelievable.
Miles Turner might get a little bit too much credit defensively.
Sure, but like with you have
Still a really good one.
like that'll mask any of that like deficiency, and it'll vault him.
Exactly. And then because that's the thing, Miles Turner, I also don't think he's ever played next to a like above average defensive big. He played next to Sabonis for years. They brought in Goga Bitadze, who is now a starter for the Magic, and it's like
Yeah,
he washed up because that's like a rebounding slash offensive screening center, which is like that's not really helping out Miles defensively.
right,
So
right.
yeah, it's I don't know. I've just been thinking about that. I really think Jaren Jackson would be like an amazing fit. It's not gonna happen. Like if you're the Grizzlies, you're just not trading that guy, but you know, so
Right.
be it.
Right. We can dream.
Oh, we could dream. I love the fit. Outside of that,
Mm.
anything else in the in-season tournament that you want to talk about?
AD looks good. Can you keep that up in the playoffs?
Oh, AD. I mean, I'm all in on AD. He's also looked like he's playing a sustainable brand of basketball. He hasn't gotten hurt in like a year, which is sad that that's like the standard with AD. Like it's unfortunate, but he's played like every game. He's like day to day for every game and then plays every game. Um,
Last week, you said you were all out on the Lakers. You're all out on AD. What does that mean?
I I am out on the Lakers as a functioning slash winning long term team in the playoffs specifically, especially given the West. But that does not come down to AD. Like that's not AD. Frankly, I think AD probably should have won the in season tournament MVP. What he had like 40 and 20 in the finals.
Yeah.
Like you know, when we have top 10 conversations, as someone I think that gets omitted a lot just due to memory. And
Mhm.
I really think he's a fantastic player. I think he should be defensive player of the year. And I think Gobert's probably going to win it. But I think we underrate how poor the defenders are around AD. Like he's really playing with like the second best defender next to him is LeBron James. Like, and that guy is like as good of a defender as he is when he tries, he can't give 120%.
Yeah. Lakers are second overall net defensive rating this
Yeah.
year. Um, so, man, bro, they're. I mean, I was also pretty out on the Lakers last week, but this is the NBA, and I'm gonna be shameless about this. If they can play like that for an extended period of time, then they could beat any team in the league.
They're not even playing that well. Their role players aren't even playing that good. Like honestly, I'm watching this game. It's like it's really reminiscent of the bubble Lakers, where it's
Mm.
LeBron and AD, and on any given night, it's a random third guy.
Right,
And
right.
personally, I don't think that's a sustainable brand of basketball, especially when you like go against the Nuggets and they've got 8 guys that they've been trotting out for 60 games who know exactly how to play together. But things can happen, injuries can happen, suspensions can happen, so be it. The Lakers are a good team for sure.
They need to step their game up against plus 500 teams is my biggest thing. Um, they almost came back against the Mavs last night. If you saw that game, it's a great game. Luca had some crazy passes.
Terrific game.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. Grant Williams hit that game-winning three. But the Lakers get a win tonight against the Spurs.
But no,
Uh, nope, not guaranteed. Not guaranteed.
the game's still going on. Regardless,
They're up, but
there's no LeBron tonight. So
there is no LeBron tonight. Yeah, so we'll see how they do. But
I
other
mean,
than that, yeah,
I don't want to take like I personally, given this is a 1 game elimination, I don't want to be like too presumptuous based off these results. But I definitely think like Pacers impressed me. They beat like 2 qualified playoff teams,
mm.
and like the Lakers look a lot better in recent times. But that's also like if they had won 3 straight regular season games, I probably would have felt the same way anyways. I don't know.
Where do you kind of view the in-season tournament going forward?
I love it. I like that the NBA is making them put up a banner. Um, I liked it a lot. I don't know. The scheduling was really bad. What was it? Semifinals being played at like 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. You got to give a chance for even East Coasters to get off work. Like we're not. I'm not
Make
getting
it
off. What?
make it six
Yeah,
thirty.
yeah, and it's like I don't know. I will say I think the finals reached like 4 million viewers.
Wow.
Which is like a really good number because the semifinals were like 1.9 or something like that. So they basically doubled their viewership from the semifinals to the finals, which I
Mhm.
think in terms of ratings is a really good saving grace. And not only saving grace is like a really good indicator of the interest,
Yeah.
but like I would love to see more stakes. I'd love to see the winner get the last pick of the lottery. You add another pick in the lottery, winner gets it. I'd love that.
I like that too. There's a lot of
Yeah.
we should come up with a list. I was thinking of one. Give that team that wins an extra win.
Each game that you win in the in-season tournament, if each of those games counts as a regular season game, it should count as double if you win.
Right.
Lakers should have three
Not double if you
wins.
lose. Just
What?
win. Not double if you win, just lose. Or vice versa.
Not double if you lose, just win. Yeah, yeah.
Right, exactly.
I totally agree. I mean, frankly, the way I saw it is that these games shouldn't count as regular season games at all. And then if you win your game, you get a added win to your regular season total.
Right.
That's how I thought it should happen.
Yeah. That's
But
it. It's a bonus.
I mean, to be honest, though, that's the thing. Like stuff like that, I do feel like it's like kind of a logical fallacy to come up with ideas to because those are kind of player incentives and like raising the stakes. But I do feel like the players were all really devoted to this. So maybe I don't know. Maybe we're thinking the wrong way, but
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it develops. I
yeah,
agree with the scheduling. That was a little rough.
yeah, scheduling was rough. But I love I loved the different courts. I know some of them were slippery, so that's unfortunate for the players. But as a visual experience, though they were good. I like the doing special stuff like that is fun. The ads with like Magic going to the poker table, stuff like that is just like small things that really add a lot. And really raise the hype. I mean, I think I would love to. I don't have them off the top of my head, but I would love to see the ratings of the like second to last and the last game for like the Kings and the Pelicans. You know, like teams that were fighting to make it into the in season tournament. Those are games that probably wouldn't have had that much viewership otherwise in the middle of December.
Yeah, not at all. No chance. It brought in a lot. It for a first season, it's very impressive what they were able to pull off.
And LeBron winning it is an NBA dub.
Very helpful.
Yeah, it's like
we'll see if you can follow it up.
I mean, shit, he might play till he's 45, so he might have 7 by the time he retires.
Yeah,
this rate.
You go.
Anyways, I think that wraps up the in-season tournament stuff. I guess we can move over to the standings. Just a really quick overview. The West is kind of funny right now. T-Wolves, Thunder, and Mavericks. That's your top 3. Nuggets, Kings, Lakers follow that. Some other spicy stuff is Warriors and 11th. Spurs rounded out at 15th now. They are officially by far the worst team in the Western Conference. In the East, you got the Celtics, the Magic, and the Bucks as top 3. Kind of fun. The Magic's still up there. Sixers, Pacers, and Knicks trailed them. Outside of that, no major surprises. Wizards and Pistons round out the bottom. Feudal as ever. Anything in the standings that you want to talk about? I don't have anything major as of now.
Pistons are on pace for the best worst record of all time. So you might see history.
That is one way to put it. The best worst record of all time. They are the best at losing games in history. They're not even that bad. They're not worse than those 76 team back then. I really think Monty Williams is like not a great coach.
Bro, the stories that keep coming out are a lot.
Dude, he's like benching Isaiah Stewart. Or no, he refuses to play Isaiah Stewart at the 5. And then like Ausar Thompson makes a mistake in the first quarter, so he gets benched for the second half. Like things like that. Stories like that have been happening all season. I'm like, dude, Monty, like
what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's not gonna win games. I don't know if he realizes that. Like this team isn't gonna win games regardless. Just play for development, and you'll win more games doing that than actually trying because your roster is ass.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's okay. Some stuff with Jaden Ivey too. Like he's just like not reaching out to his players. And he brought up that he got signed. Like one of the reasons why he agreed to this contract was due to money. Like you're saying that out loud. You're putting that out there. Like keep that close to your chest.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not sounding the alarm bells because frankly, like Ausar has looked great. Like, you know, I don't know how much that has to do with Monty rather than Ausar being good by himself.
Sure.
But you know, like in terms of individuals, I can't hate too much. But that Cade Cunningham clock is ticking because he's like the only substantially above average NBA player on that team.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you just
Uh,
double him. He almost doesn't get a chance to prove how good he is because like I don't
the
know.
rest of the team is just not there yet. They're in development, man.
Only other
Uh,
team, only other team I want to talk about is the Warriors. In terms of the
spooky.
standing situation, I just have I have a quick rant. Um, it's been bad. The Warriors currently, I think they're in 11th, they're like 10 and 13th. 6 games into the season or 7 games into the season, they were 6-1. And on this podcast, I was like locking y'all, they're going to be elite. And frankly, it could not be going worse. Funnily enough, this is a team that has players performing really well, but those players don't play very much. And when those players play, they win their minutes and they have positive plus minus. But surprisingly, those players are not Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green and Kevon Looney. For once, the people actually performing on this roster are actually Moses Moody, Gary Payton, Kuminga, Brandon Podjemski. All four of those guys are shooting above 47% from the field, uh, which is pretty impressive in my opinion, considering all of them are playing more than 20 minutes a game. On the other hand, you have Chris Paul, who's shooting 40% flat from the field, Klay Thompson shooting 39% from the field, and Andrew Wiggins rounding it out, shooting 41% from the field. Andrew Wiggins plays about 30 minutes a game and makes 4 shots a game. This is a guy who was the second best player on a team that beat the Celtics in the NBA Finals 2 years ago. He makes 4 shots a game. Um, and he doesn't get to the line anymore, frankly. So pretty frustrating situation. Um, but it's a weird team that needs to make trades. And I think they could make just about any trade. There would be no argument from the fan base. And it's unfortunate. It is what it is. But Klay and Wiggins ran out of steam, and now we have to adjust. Like, I don't think Chris Paul's even been that bad. But you can't have the luxury of having Chris Paul making a max contract off your bench if the rest of your team is not performing. And he's probably going to need to be the first one gone. Um, so it is what it is. And honestly, it's kind of funny. At this point, I think we would be 10 and 13 had we started the season starting Kevon Looney and then Kuminga, Moses Moody, Pajemski, and like Steph. I think we probably would be 10 and 13 too. So I hope Steve Kerr wakes up, but I also can't blame Steve Kerr too much because I get why you're running with your guys. And that's my long rant. I think it's kind of screwed until Mike Dunleavy makes a trade.
Yeah. I I respect that. That was a very, very good soliloquy. I appreciated that. I could hear a lot of fan
Thank
pain,
you.
frustration, and sorrow coming through.
I need to be a little non-biased. I tried to be. I tried.
Yeah, that was well delivered. My only one hope is I think Andrew Wiggins. I think he's not out of gas quite yet. I think there. It feels like there's something just mental, and I don't know if it's related to his family or whatever situation that caused him to be away from the team. I don't recall, but I don't believe he was very good in the playoffs last year compared to the chip winning season. And it just seems like his play is kind of like worsened. So when somebody has that kind of skill set disappear so quietly, you got to wonder if there's something going on where they could hopefully find a place where they're able to play at that level once again. I think Clay, that's just tough, right? Injuries, but um, Wiggins,
Age catches up to you. I mean, with Clay, like no one would have thought it would have caught up so quick, but
right?
he's not realizing his role as a true role player. But also, Steve Kerr isn't playing him like a true role player, so it's like tough because like I think there is a role for him playing 20 minutes as a really good spot up shooter off the bench, but not as a $35 million player starting.
Right. Yeah.
I do have a little pushback on Wiggins. I kind of have a question. Has he ever been that good except for that one season on the Warriors?
He could score.
He could score, but was he ever like a top 40 player? And then that season he played like a top
Yeah.
20 player. And he was an all-star that season. But outside of that season, I don't know.
Hey, man, if he can get back to is he top 40 level kind of conversation, that helps you a lot.
Of course, and that raises our ceiling and etc. Et cetera, raises our floor, blah blah, and makes we can use a lot more different lineups. But I question if that was even maybe we just got lucky. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but we'll see. It just number one pick, full of talent. He's had his ups and downs. Um, but I mean, I'm with you in terms of where the team's looking right now. It's tough, dude. Um,
And the young
but
guys have looked good.
yeah,
And that's what kind of sucks is that we're kind of have to be prisoners of the chips. And that's what happens to teams that win for a long time is that at some point those guys who won need
yeah.
to well, they want to cash in on the reputation. Um, which is what Draymond did last offseason. So,
Speaking of Draymond, man, what is happening to your guy?
he's off the rails. I mean, it's pretty clear. Like, it can't be controlled. I mean, I don't know him personally in any way, but clearly it seems like something's up. Seems like there's a lot of pressure. And Draymond, as much as he's done things like play well in elimination games and stuff like that, he's never been one to necessarily deal with pressure in a constructive manner, as seen by our title defense, starting with him socking another teammate in the face. Um, but I don't know. The indefinite suspension that he got from the league, where he has to go see counseling, in an ironic way, is the best scenario possible, but probably personally is the best scenario possible as well.
Yeah, I hope he gets some good counseling. He needs it. Seems like a really good dude. I like his personality. He's a funny guy. So it's very weird when this kind of stuff happens. And that's why he's probably gone away with it for so long because he's a likable guy and he's very in the public sphere and he's been so helpful and instrumental.
But he's never
And
done this.
never like out. He's done a lot.
But he's never slapped. Like he's never spun around and like slapped a player. And I know he's like stomped on a player and like flailed his legs and like kicked the guy in the balls. Like I do get that completely. But like over the last month, he's literally choked a player on the NBA court. And then he literally slapped the guy on the NBA court. And it's like, these are like, bro, I've never accidentally connected with a slap.
And he punched his own teammate in practice.
Yeah, like I've never accidentally punched my own teammate. Like
Right.
the flailing of the legs, all of these other things, there was a hypothetical potential that you could play it off. And it was like, and even if we said 100% of them were with intent, none of those are as weird, like straight up weird, than choking someone out and slapping another one. And I know he says he didn't realize what he was doing, but like
He never realizes what he's doing, apparently. So
exactly.
I'm sorry.
It's an unfortunate situation. And it's one that hits close to home, but like funnily enough, I think we can make a few trades and be pretty competitive. Like we have Steph Curry playing dude, still Steph Curry, bro. This guy is averaging 30 points per game on 42% from three and 47% from the field. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like he is so good. And then we're just wasting it away. So be it. But like when you have a guy like that, it doesn't take that much to be a competitor.
Yep. Yeah. All you need is a little bit more. Just be conducive.
No.
And then you get the team.
Completely agree. Anything else you want to cover?
NBA. Bro, real quick shout out. Houston Rockets. They're 10-1 at home, plus 12.7 net rating, and then 1-8 on the road, minus 7.1. That's my shout out.
I agree. They've been really fun since Star Easton's come back. They've been Amen Thompson came back for them, I think, last night as well. So they finally are like full power too, so they can fully figure out the rotations. Um, they're like pretty good. They're good. I don't
They're
even,
fun.
yeah, like, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll end up probably around the 11 to 12 range, like I think we expected, but they're like more exciting than we thought.
Right. Yeah. It's a weird team. Didn't know how it was going to work. Dylan Brooks has been good. Fred VanVleet has remained a good player, plus player on this team. So, and then you have the future Jokic, in my mind, top 5 player in the NBA in Alperen Sengun coming up in like 3 years, 4
Oh,
years,
top five
4 years maybe, three,
or
4 years,
top five.
top 5 conversations. Yeah, he's like that.
Definite top 10.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
okay, so we're talking about you think Sengun will be able to lead teams like the second round of the playoffs consistently or semi consistently?
Yeah, I think it'll be all NBA
Damn.
in his career.
I
Yeah,
respect that. I respect that take a lot. I mean, statistically, he's well on his way. He's well on his way.
his net rating off on numbers. I don't know if I have them anymore, but like they're impactful.
Done better defensively. Also, his defensive rating numbers are skewed a little bit because if you play with better defenders constantly compared to the rest of your team, that's going to help out. But
They're one of the better defensive teams in the league. They're a plus average defensive team. So yeah, and he's leading that team. So yeah, I like the Rockets, man. I like what they're doing.
I agree, and it kind
Yeah.
of hurts because I don't ever want to give the Rockets too much credit, but I really like what they're doing. We got a little rivalry with them,
Just
so
for the love of God, actually, for the love of God, thank goodness for not having signed James Harden. Like, so glad they stayed far away from that. Never even trusted that as a real rumor.
yeah. I honestly I trusted it as a real rumor, but I didn't like. It was one of those where it's like I assumed they were interested, but like you
Yeah,
didn't have a coach. You're not gonna go. You're not gonna
never
go get James Harden when you don't have a coach who is
can't
down.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And then Ime was like, no. And it's
yeah,
like good decision.
for once.
That's not that is not right.
Anyways,
Anyways, last little piece of news coming out of the NBA world. I want to talk about this. This is the
mm,
Washington Wizards.
mm,
Let me get a little comfortable. They announced today, this morning, and originally the reports came out last Tuesday, that they were going to be trying to move to the outskirts, a suburb of Washington D.C. called Alexandria, Virginia. They are teaming up with the state of Virginia. Glenn Youngkin, the governor, was there today at the press conference, and the state of Virginia is giving exorbitant amounts of money to rebuild the stadium, and Alexandria residents will probably face some sort of slight tax on top of that to pay for extra money. Uh, in response, when the original announcement came out, Washington, D.C., including the mayor, who had originally stalled on doing very much because the Wizards ownership had been asking for a lot of money, tried to quickly pass a resolution to pass $500 million for the renovation of Capital One Arena. The idea is that like as much as 500 million may seem like a lot in comparison to a lot of other things, it'll put a lot of money back into the local economy, etc. It seems like the Wizards are going to Alexandria. Just seems like a matter of time. And honestly, it's not surprising. If you want to go to Alexandria, if you want to go to a suburb, just like a lot of these sports teams, you can. It makes a lot more sense. These suburbs have more money and they are willing to tax and they are willing to team up with their states, especially when you're fighting Washington, D.C. versus a state, when it's not state v state or things like that. Um, you lose a lot of leverage when you're the city of Washington, D.C. because you can turn around and say, oh, yeah, well, we'll spend the 500 million to develop the local area. But that's not the sort of thing that wins leverage over a money hungry owner like Ted Leonsis, is, who has been a bottom third of the NBA in payroll 7 of the 15 years he's owned the team. They've been top 10 in payroll 3 times from 2015 to 2017. they were ninth. That's a 2-year span. So that's 2 of the 3 times they were just ninth, and they weren't even that good. They didn't blow up the team. They didn't rebuild correctly. They haven't invested in their players. The stadium hasn't been taken care of except for VIP fan zones. And I know this because I was a former season ticket holder. And now to see them turn the gun back on the city that has supported them, what little attendance they got was from the inner city, the within boundaries Washington, D.C. population, not the suburbs. Now they're going to Alexandria where people are going to sit at home and watch them on TV because that's what people in the suburbs do. They don't pack your stadium for a terrible team. So good luck, the Wizards. I hope you enjoy Alexandria, and I hope they drop the name, frankly.
Damn.
That's my sorry. That was I think I might have just gone on there for like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, but I'm really sorry. But
That's good, bro. Clip that. Wow. Yo, they're gonna change the name of the team.
Alexandria Wizards, they should. They should. Frankly,
Alexandria Wizards.
you don't get to turn the gun back on your fan base and then keep the name. You don't get to be like, hey, people who live in Washington, D.C., you've been coming to see our games, but we don't care about our team, so we don't like our attendance numbers. So we're moving to Alexandria. It's like, bro, you've made us watch Brad Beal sit on the bench for 40 games a year. You paired him up with Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma. You said, guys, please come out. It's like, dude, even while you were paying for that team, you were bottom 15 in payroll. It's like, you,
What do y'all do?
You get out what you put in.
Yeah.
He also, last thing, sold a portion of the team to the Qatari Wealth Fund in June. Should have been indicator number one. But this guy is a money hungry guy. That's all I have to say. Sorry. very, very passionate. But.
Damn, bro. Yeah, ever since you guys lost to the Kelly Olynyk game 7, it was chips. That was it. And then you lost to a role player, and then that was the end of the story, essentially. That's kind of cool. There's a team called the Virginia Squires that was a basketball team that was in, but that's the only recent team in the entire U.S. major sports that's going to be in Virginia, I think, which is kind of cool. The NBA has a lot of like we're the only state that has an NBA team in it. Like Utah's one of those states as well, and then Oregon as well, besides MLS teams. So shout out to them, Oklahoma as well. And so shout out to the NBA. They're collecting all these like we own this like specific market.
Yeah. Oh, what's the Alexandria market? Are you telling me they're not still just Commanders fans?
Man, yeah. I guess they might be.
You know, like
probably the same market.
That's the thing. Like, I do think there was like a misunderstanding that like I think the city of DC cares about the Wizards, but this isn't even about the Wizards. Frankly, the year-on-year moneymaker for that ownership group is the Capitals because you can invest less money into hockey and get a winner and fill the stadiums and. Like the Wizards are just a long-term investment where they went times 10 on their investment. They bought the team for $500 million in 2010. It's worth $4 billion now. It's like the Wizards are just a long-term investment. They're there to appease the fans and fill the stadiums on the Capitals off days. Like it is what it is. It's really unfortunate as a Wizards fan, but kind of come to terms with it.
The Warriors and the Wizards just making it tough right now.
Bad. No, 2 teams in the name W that I root for.
Only just not reflecting that.
Only L's. 2 L's make a W, not 2 W's make 8 L's. Like what?
True. Can't relate. Anyways.
With that, is there anything else you want to talk about? I got a little quiz for you, but
go Celtics. That's about it.
That's killing me right now. Okay.
Good win over the Knicks yesterday. Or sorry, the Cavs, rather. Good fourth quarter closeout. All right. Got a quiz? Hit me with it.
I got a little quiz for you, Anthony. So the quiz is top scorers, total points, though, of the 1980s. We alluded to this previously of who might be the top scorer, but there are some sneaky guys here that I think are extremely difficult to get, frankly. I think you'll get 6 out of 10. I think this might be one of our first fully incomplete ones.
All right. Well, this is total points scored. Okay.
Total points scored, yeah.
Let's get the number one guy out of the way, Alex English.
Yep.
Unbelievable player for the Nuggets. Look him up. We should talk about him more if we do more history stuff at some point.
21,000 points over a decade, average basically 2,000 points, which I mean
that's crazy.
That's 24 a game for a decade.
Insane. Yeah, that's insane. Okay. Damn, this is gonna be tough. But I'm gonna guess Moses Malone.
That's number 2.
Okay, cool.
Another legend of the 80s, by the way. Big shout out.
Yeah. Yeah, two guys that are not really listed in that top 10. Oh man, this is tough. Because I want to avoid wrong ones right now, but let's try Larry Bird.
Larry Bird is 4th. Larry Bird, although he came in, what year did he come in? 79 when he was drafted, starting the NBA in 80. Yeah, he ends up scoring 18,000 points, basically averages 25 and 10 for a whole decade.
Okay. Let's go with keep that rolling, McHale.
No, Kevin McHale. McHale is 17th.
Oh, wow.
Surprisingly, the margin between him and 10th is only 1,200 points. McHale, though, yeah, 17th, averaged 19 a game.
Okay. Throughout the entire decade. So if he averaged 19 throughout the entire decade, and he was drafted in what, 82? So Magic, if he was drafted in, if he played the whole decade, he averaged about the same. So let's go with Magic.
He's 12th.
No, man. Okay.
Lord. He's 150 points off the 10th.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
Yeah. Came in a little too late. There are some people above him with higher point totals with less games played, but the majority have more games played.
Man, it's tough because the 80s for that whole decade, like you're thinking about guys who were drafted in the early 80s. So like I feel like it's tough to say, but like Michael Jordan, there's no way.
No.
What? Who? What is he? Damn.
He's not on this list.
He's not even on the list.
He's not on this list. He's not in the top
drafted
30.
84. I don't know. I think LeBron was top 10. He was drafted in 2004. So I guess the MJ missed a season. Damn. All right. Okay, now I'm just grasping at straws. But Julius Erving? Wow.
Julius Erving's right behind. This is the thing. I will say the margins are super close, right behind the number 10 slot. Right. Irving's like a few hundred points behind Magic Johnson.
Okay, so
I'll start throwing you some clues. Just think of 80s lifers, like scoring lifers, late 70s. Kareem 5th.
Okay, all right.
Right behind Larry Bird. So right now you have 1, 2, 4, and 5.
4 and 5, and then 11 or 12. 11, 12, 17.
Yeah, you have 12, 14, 17.
Right. All right. I guess Julius Erving. Man. Calvin Murphy. Brutal. Tough, man.
Tough. A little more evident. Just a little more
obvious.
Think of some scores. Pure scores.
I mean, a great scorer was George Gervin.
Gervin.
Okay.
9th place on this list.
Okay.
A lot more along the lines of the rest of the guys on this list. He averages 26 a game for the whole decade, but he actually only plays 500 games for the whole decade. That's about 150 games less than Magic.
Wow. That's wild. Okay. Let's see. It's the 80s. Mark Aguirre.
I was about to throw you that one.
All
Boom,
right.
8.
Cool.
He was
Adrian
8.
Danley.
Adrian Danley, 3rd.
All
Boom.
right. All right.
So
Who
right
do
now we
I-
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then
all
we
right.
have 8, 9. So we're missing 7, 8, and 10.
Pete Maravich?
No. No Pete. No Pistol Pete.
No Pistol Pete. I know he finished in the 80s. Okay. Kiki Vandeweghe?
Right. So he's 13th, right behind Magic Johnson, right
Nice.
before Julius Erving. I'm not gonna lie, 2 of these 3 guys, if you get there's one guy that I think you'll probably get. I think 2 of these 3 guys are pretty much impossible.
Okay. Sidney Moncrief. No. Okay. Terry Cummings.
Terry Cummings is on the list. He's in the top 20. He's right outside. He's with guys like World Be Free and Purvis Short.
Okay. I see. Dude, yeah, the 80s, right? Okay, so it ends not Isaiah Thomas.
Right outside as well. Right out. He's like he's in this the top. He's
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas, McHale, Purvis Short,
Yeah.
World Be Free, Terry Cummings. Like that's a 18 to 23.
Okay. I might get all right. Let me do one more like deep in my head dive and then
I'll give you the results.
Like scanning all these names in my head of Artis Gilmore. No.
Artis Gilmore.
All right. Hit me with them.
The one I think you should have gotten here is probably Dominique.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Yeah. But he also didn't play very many games. He was second least games played out of the top.
I should have guessed him now.
Yeah,
you're right.
A little tough.
Oh.
Kind of along the same lines of Dantley and Aguirre and Gervin, where they played a long time with the same team, switched scores. Yeah. The 2 others, and this is the reason I picked this list, is I was blown away by these names. And frankly, I didn't think you had any chance of getting these 2 names. Reggie Theus.
Okay.
He is 6th.
Wow.
He is 6th behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and ahead of Dominique Wilkins. Basically plays 76 games a season for the whole decade and just averages 20 a game.
20 a game?
Just averages 20 a game for the whole decade. And that's it.
I feel ashamed of myself for not knowing about a player who averaged 20 points per game for an entire decade.
I mean, this is a weird time in the NBA. I mean, he plays for, the Bulls before Jordan for a bit. He plays for the back end of the Kansas City Kings right before they moved to Sacramento. Then he's in Sacramento at the beginning. Really good player, and frankly, probably above average defensively in retrospect. But
yeah,
frankly, not a name that pops off the page. Last guy is a guy I know nothing about. Mike Mitchell.
Oh, he played for the Spurs.
Yes, exactly. Played for the Spurs. Seemingly a really good player. 3 years in Cleveland, scores 20 a game, goes to Spurs, finishes out his career for the last 8 seasons, 20 a game. Really good player. Same deal, basically in the 80s, plays 80 games, 82 games, 84 games, 80 games, 80 games, 82 games, 82 games. For 8 straight seasons, he averages 82 games played. Wow. He scores 20 a game. I am almost ashamed to admit as well that I knew nothing about Mike Mitchell before this podcast.
He might be relevant to a concept you and I discussed a while ago about we pick a random team and their offseason top moves.
Yeah, he really might be.
Yeah, that's wow, Mike Mitchell and Reggie Theus. That was a great quiz.
Yeah, so that was why I gave you the quiz. I mean, before the quiz, I said I thought you could get 6 out of 10. We got the 7.
Yeah,
so, we got the W there. The 80s is also really weird. Like, it's a really weird decade in the NBA. Like, it's like you're kind of on the back. It's like a hangover from the 70s for the first 5 years.
Yeah.
And then you get right into 90s basketball.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, whoa. Like,
Yeah. It's so true. Right. Early 80s versus late 80s, so different.
yeah, these are like, yeah, I don't know. So
Just two different leagues. Yeah. Very cool. Great quiz.
with that, I don't really have much else to touch on regarding the quiz, regarding the pod. Hopefully we gave you guys a good hour of, discussion, quizzes, etc.
Thank you guys for listening. We got some NBA games to catch up on. So I think we got to bounce. But until then, Max, you got anything else?
I got nothing, sir.
All right. Love you all, our lovely listeners, fans, subscribers, aficionados. Hopefully, no stalkers. Please don't do that with us. But appreciate you listening. And if not, that's all right because we'll keep being here. Spittin' Hoops as always.
And restraining order.
Y'all be easy now.
Peace out.